Hello, I'm Roger Brownsword. It's June the 1st here in the United Kingdom, and the COVID-19 restrictions have been eased a bit more today. We're getting used to what people are calling the new normal. Of course, in the UK, we knew that 2020 would require some adjustment because of Brexit, but we weren't expecting the new normal to be a double whammy, not just post-Brexit, but also post and with COVID-19. In many ways, the old normal and the new normal have some similarities. In particular, we continue to put a great deal of faith in finding technological solutions to our problems. In the case of Brexit, the border in the island of Ireland between the Irish Republic and the Northern Ireland is a problem, and we hope we can find a technological solution so that we don't have to reinstate a hard border. And of course, with COVID-19, we hope that we can find a vaccine that will give us an immunity. But there are also other continuities, a tension between what we're comfortable with and technological possibilities. Even where we have technological solutions to our problems, we might be reluctant to embrace them. So, for example, we have a big problem with the safety of people working in highly infectious zones, doctors, nurses, people at hospital staff and carers in nursing homes. And too many lives have been lost in this first round of COVID-19 of that kind. We have protective equipment, but it's not 100% satisfactory. Could we do better? Well, could we find a technological answer? What about robots? Let's imagine that robots could do some of these caring functions. Robots wouldn't get tired, they wouldn't need protective equipment, and they wouldn't get infected. But would it be acceptable? Now, you may remember our Prime Minister Boris Johnson himself was in hospital for a time with COVID-19. And almost the first thing he did when he left hospital was in a very public way to thank the doctors and the nurses who'd looked after him, who'd been at his bedside in the most difficult times. Very understandable, very personable, very human. And the human touch in those sort of situations does matter a lot. Human carers are not the same as robot carers, and as humans, we care about whether it's humans or robots. Now, another example of the way in which we might be reluctant to embrace a technological solution is if, thanks to big data and artificial intelligent devices, we were able to classify patients in COVID-19 wards as high risk or highly dependent or low risk or whatever, and in particular use these classifications to decide whether they should be given access to scarce limited hospital resources like ventilators or whatever. I mean, insofar as doctors were taking note of what the classifications were on these smart devices, that would be one thing. We might find that acceptable. But if we went a step further and left the whole thing to the smart devices to make these decisions about who should get access to which resources, that might be another matter. Of course, from a legal point of view, in Article 22 of the General Data Protection Regulation, we already have some indication of the shape of a discussion about decisions made on a solely automated basis. For lawyers, Article 22 is full of nice points of interpretation about what constitutes a solely automated decision. Indeed, what's a decision? What are significant consequences? But for communities generally, Article 22 is more a set of questions than some neat answers. And again, we'll have to see just how comfortable we are with handing over decisions to machines and putting humans completely out of the loop. Right now in the UK, there's a fierce debate going on about apps which might be used or which a government thinks are important tools to be used in testing, tracing and tracking people as we have relaxation of the restrictions. But there's big pushback from civil libertarians and privacy groups who worry about the extension of surveillance societies. Well, whether it's the state or the private sector doing the surveillance, we have deep concerns about this kind of tracking of our movements, and of course using apps then to decide not just to locate us, to track us, but to make decisions about whether we are to be given access. how our freedom of movement should be utilised. So, a lot to think about in relation to the challenges of the new normal, but there's also an opportunity. I mean, the new normal is a chance to make a fresh start. And in particular, with the grounding of aircraft, we've seen how this has environmental positives. It could be a chance to make a clean break with the old normal. I mean, after all, in the old normal, we were aware that we were pushing the planetary boundaries to the limit. Fires in Australia and plastic particles in the oceans were already headline news. We have to do better. And it may be that in the new normal, we can be far more sensitive to the way in which our actions and the use of technologies too have implications for the conditions which we all rely on for any kind of normal, new normal or old normal, the global commons. It needs to be maintained, it needs to be preserved and protected. So, in conclusion, if in the if after COVID-19 we take care of ourselves and we take care of our families and our friends, that's great. But if we also can take care of the global commons, that will be even better. And the new normal post COVID-19 would be a major step then in the right direction. Well, keep well, and it's nice to have had a chance to talk to you.